Good morning, YouTubes. We're out here in the workshop again, about to do the big service, the 18,600 mile service. I think, I don't know, what is that, the 30,000 kilometer, something like that. Anyway, so I come out here earlier, and I don't know if you can see, but I've been already wrenching on it. I've already got the oil change, I've got the valves adjusted, and replaced the spark plug, so that's all. Sun's killing me here. That's all part of the big service. What I've got left is air filter and transmission, and I don't know what they call it, final drive, the shaft drive oil. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up here and start getting the air filter out so we can take a look at it. So, air filter. Down underneath this little panel down here. Not real hard to get to. You just got to take a few things off. We're going to start with this little battery tray cover, catch-all, whatever you want to call it. And this pops out. Now, right here you can see is, well, I hope you can see, yeah, I think you can see, is the actual air filter box. What we're going to do is we're going to take these side skirts off, or side panels, I'm not real sure what they're even called. We're going to take these off, and that'll help us get to the clips that are on the side. They've got these like weird, just spring style clips. Okay, so these have a little prong here on the tips, and they go into a little rubber bung on the side that just pulls out. Now you want to be careful with these because these do have the finish of the bike on there, and you don't want to scratch them up. So set them out of the way. Inevitably, someplace where you'll end up stepping on them or tearing them up. So let me get this other cover off. Okay, I had to take you off the big tripod. There's not a good way of showing this, but the reason I take these little side skirts off, I'm going to show you, is right up in there. Now you see it kind of just as a little shiny spot right here. That's one of the clips that holds the air box together. It's like a two-piece air box where your filter is. And now on the other side, this would be, what, the left side? That's the other one. And is it possible to do this without taking the side panel? I don't know. I'm not trying. You all can try that on your own, but it's a pain. So it takes literally 2 minutes to take these little side skirts off. So let me set you back up and we'll get this air filter out of here. All right, so let's try and pop that clip out. All right, my clip just fell off, which is not a big deal. They just snap right back on. Let's see if we can get this one. Well, I'm trying to get this one to fall off. Yeah, it doesn't want to. It's all right. Let's pop these. Normally that's a bad sign when you hear a clip fall, but it doesn't fall far enough to hit the floor. I'm going to call a director's cut on this one. Okay, found the clip. So, what we're going to do, this is my battery tender. If you haven't seen that video, you can watch me put one of these on, which now is conveniently in the way, but let's see if we can get it out with the battery tender on there. Alright, what are we hung up on? Oh, we're hung up there. Okay, well, alright, cut to me taking the battery off. Alright, so I've pulled the battery. There's these, I think this is where your seat sits or something. It's right in the way, and you have to be able to get this further back to get it out. So there we go. It's out. This is what your battery box looks like, and I'm dropping dirt and dust and everything else out. So it screws the filter in. There's what, 5 little Phillips screws. Let's go over here and take these out and get the filter out, huh? Okay, so we got all the screws out. The filter just comes on out. Something that kind of surprised me, and I'm not sure why, but there's 2 cutouts for, I don't know, I guess maybe dust and dirt to fall out, or one of them's taped shut. I don't know. Maybe it's like that on all of them. Let me know if you guys do your air filter or have ever taken it out and you see this. Let me know. I don't know why it is, but it is. So at my dealership, they've not done one of the big services yet, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just due to, you know, people in the area just not, they don't have enough miles on their bike yet, or I don't know. Maybe y'all are just waiting for my video to come out and doing it yourself. Be nice. Anyway, so the air filter is a replacement item at the big service, and they don't have one there. So they're going to order one. So for the time being that my filter actually doesn't look bad at all, we're going to go ahead, blow it out with some compressed air and reinstall it and go from there. Okay, well, I've blown out the air filter. Actually looks, I don't know, about the same. They sell a K&N replacement for this. I don't know, like 65 bucks. And hey, may help, may not. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together. It all just snaps back into the box, kind of like so, and we'll get her stuck back in here. Alright, so we're back here. I got it all put back together. It's got 2 little cut. Okay, so it's got 2 little plastic, I don't know, fingers, kind of connects down here in the bottom. I know y'all can't see this, but if you're going to be doing this, it's pretty obvious where it goes. Let's see if I can just squeeze her back down in there. And there it goes. So we'll reinstall our little metal clips that I pulled out because it just made it easier to do that. Okay, next is the battery. Make sure you have your negative and positive lined up where it's supposed to be. And we'll just stick this back in. Alright, now we got our battery back in place. We're going to go ahead and reinstall our side panels, which they just kind of slide in, pop in your little pin at the bottom, and put your 2 screws back in. So I'm going to get these in, put the battery cover back on, and we'll catch back up. Alright, while we're putting all this back together, I kind of enjoy doing the maintenance on this bike. So I've already done the oil change this morning, adjusted my valves, and replaced the spark plugs, because that's part of the big service. If you have questions on how to do it, I've made videos on oil changes. I made video on how to adjust valves. The one thing that I normally do that I don't normally mention a whole lot about is your rear pegs here. You ought to check them. I didn't realize it until, I don't know, I think it was when I bought this bike. These rear pegs would not move. And you just squirt a little bit of penetrating oil or something down in there, maybe some WD, whatever. I always keep these well lubed. I lube my center stand. I also lube up my kickstand all the time, just keep it from squeaking and carrying on when, you know, every time you put the kickstand down. Just little things that aren't necessarily in the book, but the little stuff, it always tends to get overlooked. So just bringing it up that if you're here, hey, squirt some lube on this thing, and next time you're out there, check these passenger pegs. If you're like me and they haven't been used, they're probably stuck. Okay, so according to your maintenance book here, let's see, I don't even know if y'all can see that. The gearbox holds 700 cc's and the bevel gear is holding 180 cc's, which is 180 cc's, I think it's like somewhere around 6 ounces here in the US. The 700, it's like, I don't know, 0.7 liters, I guess, I don't know. Anyway, we got a liter of our Motul 75-140 full synthetic. That's what they recommend putting in it. So I'm going to drain my oil into an old Folgers can and collect it, just so I can kind of get a measurement of really how much was in there. And we'll go ahead and drain it and get her filled up. Okay, well, I don't know, not real sure what happened. I hit power button instead of the record button and it took a picture. I'm not sure where I actually left off, but to do the transmission, you've got a plug here and one down here, and to get to that you have to drop your exhaust down, which is not a big deal. I've gone and taken the nuts off of both sides here, which they're just like a 12 millimeter. It's not a big deal. I took the muffler off the, where am I at? Took the muffler off the back. It's bolted right here. It's not a big deal either. It's literally a 6 mil Allen and a 13 mil nut on there, and then on the base of it back here you've got a clamp that's a 13 millimeter. Once that's off, man, this is going to be hard to see. I need to pay attention better. I'm sorry guys, but there is a, oh, where's it at? Let's see, flashlight. There's a bracket right there, and you can see that it's separated. There's a bolt that goes through there. It's a 10 millimeter bolt. I got on it with a extension from the side here, come right out, and it allows your exhaust to drop down. It won't drop down far enough that your O2 sensor wires need to be disconnected. See, there's no tension on them right now. That's because it's hung up here on the skid plate, and that's fine. I could take it all the way down, disconnect these, and get it completely out of the way, but I don't think we'll need to. I think I can just go ahead and drain it from here. And I was about to make me a cool little funnel out of a water bottle and realized I wasn't recording. So I apologize. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and make us a little drain funnel to get under there. If anything, I'll show when I'm putting it back together which bolts that I took out. I'll try and be more vigilant on the camera work here. I'm by no means a cameraman. Anyway, let's start making us a little drain funnel and get this oil out. All right, we're gonna see if I can do this without like cutting myself. Oh, it's pretty hefty bottle. Alright, I don't know if you can see what I'm trying here, but I'm just making like a little, I don't know, a little water bottle boat, I guess. I'm going to snip the end of this off, just so we can get up underneath there and the oil has a place to go and not sit right on top of the exhaust. I'll show you here in a second. Okay, here's the look we're going for. We've got a drain bolt right here. And I don't want it all over the exhaust. So we're going to do that. And I'll just let it drain out. And we're going to catch it in our little Folgers cup so I can see how much was actually in it. Alright, so I've got it broken loose. I just used a 17mm wrench and it broke loose pretty easy. So we're going to try and do this without spilling a ton of oil out here, which it shouldn't. I've had the bike off for a little while. Alright, so here's our plug. And our water bottle seems to be working. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this plug here and see if we can't, oh, I'm missing. See if we can't get it to drain a little bit better. Okay, let's see. See if you can see this. So it's running down through my water bottle, down into my little Folgers can here. And we'll just sit here and let it drain and see how much comes out. Okay, so we've drained as much as we're going to drain out of here. I'm going to go ahead and remove my bottle and we'll look and see what came out, and I'll get my drain plug put back in and I'll show you in a second. Okay, this is what we got here. I've got pretty well emptied out my my funnel here, or whatever you want to call it, little water bottle. According to the book, it takes 700 cc's of oil, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how much this actually holds, but it's kind of a good guide to know that, you know, I would have thought that it'd take way more than that. I actually bought 2 liters. I think these are liters. Yeah, 2 liters of this 75-140, and they're not cheap. They don't give them away. Thinking that I was going to have 2 because, man, I just couldn't believe that it doesn't hold that much. But we're going to go ahead and fill her up, and I might be able to take one back. So let's go ahead and get her filled. So your fill port is up here at the top. It's a 10mm, and if you have crash bars like I do, you'll know it's kind of going to be a little bit of a pain to work around, but you can still get there. It's a pretty good size hole, O-ring seal on it. So we take that out and we leave our plug here open, and this will be our, I don't know, it's our know when to stop fill here. So we fill at the top, it'll come down, fill this cavity. When it starts to come out of here, that's when we're done, and we'll stop pouring. So this oil that I bought has a fancy little trick. The top pulls up out of there, and this entire stem pulls out. Then you just unscrew the this little cap at the top, and it comes with its own funnel. Like, how sweet is that? And this thing, like, you can really get down in here. So look at this, perfect. I mean, like, I'm not even spilling any. I mean, somebody's a genius down there. What I'm gonna do, shoot, if I can find, oh, I'm gonna get my little plug ready here to put in so that I know, let's see, 'cause I don't want to overfill it. Okay, we're gonna go slow because I don't know how much, it's hard to tell how much is in this bottle with the little guide on the side, so we're just going to go slow. I just can't see it. Be patient, take your time. If you overflow it a little bit, it's not a big deal, let it run out and put the plug in. It just, you know, like I said, the stuff's not cheap, and oddly enough it's like a bright blue. So being that this is so thick, as you're putting it in, give it time to kind of settle down and drop to the bottom. It's like trying to pour syrup. I mean, it's just going to take a minute for it to get through. And it looks like I can just see it at the very, very bottom. Okay, well, it ends up being 24.6 ounces or something like that in US, which is the 700 cc's. So you can see it's coming out now, bright blue. Go ahead and put our plug in, and we are full on the transmission. Okay. So, all tightened up, and we'll go ahead and make sure we're clean, and we'll go ahead and put this plug back in too. Alright, so on this, it's way easier for me to get to it with the like the ball end on this. Honestly, if you don't have a ball end, I'm not sure how to get to it. But I also use a little piece of pipe that slides over as my cheater bar, and that gives me a handle to tighten it down. And now you're not tightening this thing like a lug nut. It's just got an O-ring for a seal. So snug it, but don't over snug it. All right, so let's see if we can get this back up in there, because it was kind of a pain in the butt to get it off, I'm not gonna lie. And naturally, as soon as we start, we're already hung up on something. So alright, just a, well, see, these videos don't always go as planned. This might be one of them. Man, what a pain in the butt. Yeah, we're going to try and just force it up in there. Oh, I think I'm stuck on the other side. Let me check it. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. I'm just kind of using my leg here as the leverage part. Oh, look at that, pop right in. Okay. And voila. Okay, so kind of a pain, but definitely doable. So these here are just 12mm nuts. Got a little extension. Go ahead and get them tight. Get the other side. Okay, that bolt I was trying to show you earlier, you can kind of see where, let's see, where am I at? Alright, there's a bracket right there. And that's the bolt I was trying to show you earlier that I had to take out. And I'm going to fish it in and try and get it started and tightened up as well. Alright, so this is where I took the muffler off from. And it's not a, I don't know, not a big deal to put it back on, I say, as I struggle to put it back on. So there's the clamp there, and then up here you'll have your one bolt. So I want to put the bolt in so that I don't have to sit here and hold it one-handed, and we'll get this on. Alright, so I got the upper bolt put in, and it's just loose. And this is a 13mm. Yeah, 13mm, just to tighten up the hose clamp. That's basically all it is, or exhaust clamp, whatever you want to call it. Okay, done. This here is it's got a 6mm hex on the front and a 13mm. If you can see that back here. Probably not. Anyway, I'm going to tighten this up. Alright, so I have a new container now. We're going to use just a clear, I don't know, it's like a mason jar type deal. But underneath right here, let's get that in frame a little better, huh? Is a 17mm. Again, Guzzi uses like a 17mm for all their drains, evidently. And it broke loose. So we're going to go ahead and drain the oil out of here and see what we've got as far as quantity, and always look at your oh, that's not very much there. Let's break this other one loose so we can get some drain in here, huh? There we go. So always look at your the end of your plugs here, because Moto Guzzi is, well, it gets you in the picture. Always look at the end of your plug here, because there's always a magnet on the end of the drain plugs on Moto Guzzi for all their oils. The transmission one had a little bit, you know, a few little shavings, same as this one. A little bit of shavings is not uncommon, especially, you know, first time changing it. If you have chunks and pieces, that's usually a bad thing, and that means that you've got problems inside and are going to need to get that serviced. Mine has just a little bit on there, no big deal. So this looks pretty nasty and dirty, like real nasty and dirty, like ugh. But we'll get it all out of there, and we're going to get her all filled up. Let me show you. Oh, you can't even see that, can you? I don't know if you can even see how nasty that looks. Anyway, we're going to get some new stuff in, and we'll get her taken care of. Kind of an important note here when doing this, the rear, I don't know what you call it, rear axle oil change. It's real close to your rear wheel and your rear tire. So that being said, if you, I don't know, have the fan on and it blows over there, whatever, any of that oil gets on your wheel or your tire, please, please, please clean that up before you take that bike out. A little bit of oil on your rear tire, I mean, it may not seem like much, but you get into a curve and that oil is on that tire and you slip off of there. I don't want to hear about that happening. So make sure when you're doing all these services and oil changes, even if you spill some on the floor, make sure you clean it up prior to taking your bike out, because just running your tires through that oil and getting out there on that pavement, man, I'd hate to hear that somebody crashed because they had a little bit of oil on their tire that they could have just wiped off and avoided that. So, a little word of caution and safety. Alright, so I took my bike off the center stand and put it on the side stand because we're going to fill through here, and it's going to be kind of a pain to do it. If you can see, there's hardly any oil in that. So I've got, I don't know, I've still got enough left in this one. I'm going to go ahead and squirt it full and call it good. It almost fits in there. Okay, so we've got our oil running out. That little tip I was just telling you about with the oil. I'm going to clean all this up. Okay, so this bottle being 1 liter, it's 32 ounces. That's actually a little bit, just a tad over 32 ounces, but between the transmission and this, I used the entire bottle, every bit of it. So, and we're not overfilled. Alright, let's get this cleaned up. Alright, so this little project here really wasn't that bad. It was more of the, I guess, fear of the unknown. I'm not a licensed or certified Moto Guzzi mechanic. I'm not a motorcycle mechanic at all. I've been a mechanic for years on cars, but I love doing the maintenance on this thing. So anytime that it calls for it, I'm going to do it. The transmission was actually more difficult than I thought it was going to be, and that has nothing to do with the oil in it or nothing like that. It was just, I didn't realize that I was going to have to take the exhaust down, and Not a big deal. I didn't take it all the way off. You could. It might make it even easier. The rear, a little bit pesky to try and fill. I don't know. Maybe there's a better way. But, the way I did it seemed to work. And that Motul having that cool little nozzle, that's pretty awesome. So, I mean, if anything, just, you know, to sell Motul, I mean, that stuff's excellent oil anyway, but to have the cool little funnel already built in. I'm not sponsored, by the way. You know, went pretty easy, and a lot of y'all were asking before in the comments about those tires that I had on, and about the I don't know, the Metzler Tourants. Well, I went back to the Metzler Tourants. I got a lot of mileage out of the others, but they slip and slide too easy on the road, and I didn't like it. The Metzlers feel a little bit more planted for me. I mean, the others are probably better if you're doing a lot of like real off-road stuff, but I mean, let's face it, I'm not. I drive this thing all over, but it sees mostly the pavement, so not a big deal. I did put the spark plugs in and adjusted my valves, and I was noticing, like, it's getting cold here. You know, it's right at what, 32, which is, I don't know, 0 Celsius in the mornings, and on cold start it would idle up and down and up and down and up and down. It was having a hard time. Of course, it's not that cold right now, but I did a cold start on it, and it seemed like it smoothed it out a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. If not, we'll figure something else out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was probably a lot longer than what I anticipated, but you know, I figured I'll take you along for the ride and show you everything that I'm doing, and hope to encourage you all to get out there and do it as well. I know sometimes it's, you know, it's really inconvenient to do the maintenance on the bike, and it's a lot easier to just pay somebody else. I'm not knocking you. On my first one, you know, until I figured out how to do it, I was a little, I don't know, iffy to do it myself. So, but now it's no big deal. I hope it inspires y'all, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.